Well, I'm going to go through some steps, some recommendations. First of all, you don't have to follow every single step. Some of you may already have jumped in, so maybe you take a few steps back and take a look at these things I'm going to recommend today. But my first recommendation is to do research. So first of all, where is your audience online? Where are they discussing things? For some people, that will be Facebook. But for organizations that are more business to business, it might be forums, it might be blogs. You might not even have a presence on Facebook. So that's why it's really important to do your research first. Next, what are they talking about? Are they saying things that are good? Is it bad? Is it neutral? Do people care? That's really important for you to know before you really jump in. If you have a brand that maybe doesn't have a good reputation necessarily, and you jump in, you could be jumping into a firestorm and not even know it. So what are people saying? And then what are your competitors doing? It's a really good thing to spy on your competitors because they might be doing things that are really great ideas, and you might take a look and say, that is a really bad strategy, we're going to stay away from it. So first I'm going to walk you through the basics of a social media audit. And really a social media audit is a fancy term for a web search. I did social media audits for both of the PR agencies that I worked for. And these tools, the actual audit is immensely helpful in helping you shape your strategy for social media. So first of all, your audit is essentially a basic keyword search across multiple platforms, and it gives you a snapshot of what's being said right now. So 2 months from now, it might change, or if a really large event happens, it might change, but it gives you an idea of what's being said at that particular moment. So pick a couple keywords. I say 5 to 10. If you pick more than that, it's going to take a really long time to do your audit. So I gave some examples if I were to do one for the Saginaw Community Foundation today. These are some things that I would search on. We do grants, so we need to search grants. That's too broad though, so narrow it down with Saginaw and so forth. Here are a couple places that I would recommend searching. Google, of course, is the big one. Facebook and Twitter are great places to search. YouTube, Google Blogs, but there are some other ones that you might not think. Delicious and Digo are both social bookmarking sites. People might be bookmarking your pages and you might not even know it. Flickr, people might be tagging photos of your business. Social Mention is kind of an overall measurement tool, which is really great to kind of see a overall picture of what's out there, and then of course LinkedIn. And then repeat the process for some of your competitors. So see what they're doing, see what's being said about them. But the most important thing is keep track of the good ideas and the bad ideas, like I said before, because you will see some really great things that might inspire really great ideas, or you might see some really bad ideas. So your next step is to make a plan. So the first thing you really need to do is decide, what do I want to do with social media? What is my overall goal? Because if you kind of set out there and just start these social media profiles without a goal in mind, you might say, well, this isn't doing anything. Well, if you're not measuring, you really can't say, well, this isn't increasing our awareness. This isn't increasing our sales. So here are a couple things that you can consider as your goals. Increasing awareness is always a huge one. Customer service is another one. If you search your company, if you have like a small local company, you search them on Yelp.com, you might see some reviews, and some of them are probably going to be negative just because people, if they're angry, they're more likely to go and leave a review about your company. So maybe you want to provide customer service through social media. Charter is a great example. If I got on Twitter right now and said, my charter quit working, they will probably send me either a direct message or a reply and ask me to get in touch with them. And I say that because I have done that before. And they're very quick about it, but it's really key to their strategy. You can build a community. So maybe you want to set up a leadership community where people can talk about things related to Saginaw County. That's always an option. Facilitate conversation. Do you want people to talk about your products or your services, or something that ties to your overall business goals? And then increasing sales and leads. And I put that one last because you really can't just get on Twitter and expect it to increase your sales. It takes a lot of work and a lot of commitment to make that happen. Next, pick out the platform that you think will help you achieve your goals. So Don't say, I'm going to start a Facebook page, and okay, I guess I'll pick a goal from there. Pick your platforms based on what you want to achieve. Facebook, blog, Twitter, Flickr, LinkedIn, and YouTube are really the big six, the ones that most people are going to gravitate toward. But there are some other ones that are really great too. Instagram might be great if you sell products, if you have a store, like say a jewelry store. Instagram would be a great platform to be on. Foursquare, McDonald's ran a Foursquare campaign, I think maybe 2 years ago, and they increased traffic through their stores because they were giving away gift cards to people who checked in on Foursquare, and it was at random, so you weren't guaranteed to win, but a lot of people were going to McDonald's to see if they could win a $10, $20, $30 gift card. Delicious and Digo are both social bookmarking sites, and so they're really useful if you want to create a library of resources for someone. SlideShare is really great for sharing presentations. Really only PowerPoint presentations. This kind of presentation is done on Prezi, and it really won't work. Scribe is a document sharing platform, so say you have a lot of white papers. It's a really great place to make it where people can search and discover you without necessarily knowing that they need the solution that your company offers. Forums were really popular in the 90s, and some people don't realize that they still do serve a use today. I know General Motors actually has a presence on some forums where if someone says, my car's not working right, it's this kind of car, they actually will get on and respond. Blogger outreach, you can reach out to people who are already blogging in your community, and we don't have a lot of bloggers in this area compared to, say, the Metro Detroit area. But if you can find a blogger that ties to your overall mission, they might be interested in blogging about the services that you offer, and it's kind of a touchy thing. It's not like pitching to the media necessarily, the traditional media, so it is something you really have to make sure that it's the right fit. Pinterest, Yelp, both are really great platforms. I don't know, how many of you have heard of Pinterest? It's really, okay. I know when I asked that back in November, probably 3 people raised their hands. So it's really, really growing fast. Vimeo is an alternative to YouTube. So do your research and see, are there other platforms out there besides Facebook that you can make useful for your business? But the overall goal is for you to become a thought leader, and this is whether you're blogging from, say, just your personal perspective or if it's an overall strategy for your company. You want to be seen as a leader in your industry, and that's, Leadership Saginaw. These are the people in this room are leaders in Saginaw, so you want to become a leader online if you're going to make that time investment. So after all of that research and all of that work, that's when you really get started. But don't be afraid to adjust your path as things change, because the different platforms, the social media platforms will change, they'll grow. I'm betting a year ago, people really wouldn't have been that excited to put their company on Pinterest. Now a lot of companies are gravitating towards setting up accounts to see if it'll help them. There's another thing I want to point out. People always think that social media is free, so we'll just set up these profiles and do some marketing on them, and social media really isn't free. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of management, it takes a lot of upfront research to develop a strategy if you really want to do it right. And once you get all of that going, you have to keep going, you have to maintain that momentum. And so it's definitely not free. It takes up a large amount of your day if you really want to make it effective. And I'm not saying that to scare you off, because there are a lot of things you can do to make it easier. You can write a month's worth of content up front that you will be posting to Facebook to save yourself the time of having to think, what do I want to post today? So there are a lot of things you can do, but just know it's not free. It takes definitely some time.